Hello, my apprentices of mathematics. Welcome to my channel. This is your coach, Mr. Magno, and this is a math channel and miscellaneous as well. Okay, anyways, so today we're going to look at something called Module 5, Lesson 18. We're going to look at the attributes of a rhombus and rectangles. Rhombuses and rectangles. Of rhombuses, I think I need to spell that correctly. Rhombuses. That would be, I think they're called rhombi. Yeah, that's what they call it. Rhombi and rectangles. Rhombi means many. Okay, my friends, so let's look. Let's fix this word too. So we're going to look at the 2D shape called the rhombus. Okay. So let's look at this. This shape right here is called the rhombus. So we're going to look at the attributes. Let's see. Well, it looks like it has all equal sides. So that will be one of the attributes. A rhombus has all equal sides. Let me type that up. So we're gonna call this attributes of the rhombus. So let's do this. So it looks like has all equal sides. Okay, another thing that I noticed too when I look at the rhombus is it looks like it has opposite angles. Let me explain what that means. So if we were able to illustrate, to look at this shape right here. So this is an angle, and well, that's crazy. Let me undo that. So if I had to look at this is an angle, and this is an angle. So these two angles are the same. They're opposite angles. So let's label them so you can get an idea of what I'm talking about. That will be A, B, C, and D. Okay, so the angles D and B are opposite, and they are the same. And the angles, let me see, something is going on with this pen. Let's see. Okay, there you go. And if we look at these angles right here, let me use a different color. Angle A and angle C, they are the same. So here's our conclusion for that one. If we look at this, if we're going to write the information here, is going to be, it has two sets of opposite angles. Okay. Let's look at the one more thing. So we looked at this all equal sides. It has two sets of opposite angles. And what else? Are we missing anything? So we look at the sides, the angles, and I think that's pretty much it. So a rhombus is what we call a opposite angles, and the angles. Okay, that's good. So here is we can add a little bit more information. So one set is one set of angles. It's acute, and the second set of angles is obtuse, which means greater than obtuse. Okay, there you go. All right, now let's look at this information here. So if we look at our shape right here, the total of all the angles is 360 degrees. Okay, so if you know that, let me see, where am I? There you go. So the total of all the angles is 360 degrees. Let me select my tool here. Let's say, so this is going to be all 360 degrees. Well, this is very sensitive right now. Let me write in a kinder way. So it's going to be 360 degrees is the total of the angles. Now, angle A and B, A and D, this is for you to understand the angles, okay? So angles A and D equals 180. So that's going to be 180. And the angles B and C also equals 180, which would make total sense. That will equal 360. Now, so let's say, since this is not a right angle, because a right angle will have the line going straight right here. Whoa, that's awful. Okay, so this is less than 90. That's what it's called, the acute angle. So let's call it this. Let's say this is 65 degrees. Okay, so that means the opposite angle should be acute as well. So it should be 65 degrees. And let me circle this so it looks different. It's not mixing. So these two are 65 degrees. All right. Now, if we have, so the other angle should be 180 minus 65, because these two are complementary. They are, they will have to equal 180. So let's do 180 minus the 65, and your total should be 115. Okay, so now we know that this angle, let me see if I can use my pen, my mouse instead. So this angle is going to equal, let me, okay, 115 degrees. So they are both going to equal the same. So this side will be 115 degrees, 15 degrees, and this side as well will be 115 degrees, 115 degrees. Okay, so these will be these two angles right here. They're opposite. So these will be obtuse, and this will be, excuse the mess right here. Let me just clean it up a little bit. I think that's it's very confusing the way it looks. So I'm just gonna do this here. I'm going to remove the angles. So those two angles are the same, and the acute angles are the same. And we said that the acute angles were 65 degrees. So let me write that down quickly. And so that's going to be 65 degree. That's not 65. 65 degrees. And that's going to be 1. And the other one is go. Okay, let me get back to my page here. And the other one is going to be 65 degrees. Okay. All right. So let me place this right here. So these opposite angles that are acute, they will be 65 and 65. Okay. So now that help us understand what is a rhombus. Now, can a square be a rhombus? Well, let's look. This looks like a square. What if I go like this? Well, yes, it is a square. Now, does it qualify as a rhombus? Does it have all equal sides? Yes. Does it have, let's say, 4 sides? That would be okay. Now, in this particular case, I don't know why they classify this as a rhombus. Maybe because it looks like a rhombus when you go like this, but the angles are all the same. So what we need to look at is just making sure that we are looking at just that all the sides are the same. And it's oh, one more thing, this also is a quadrilateral. Let's not forget that. So a rhombus is also a quadrilateral, just like a square. So these are the attributes. So conclusions, let's make a conclusion here for this, for a rhombus. Let's say conclusions. Right, so a rhombus, a square, can be a rhombus, but a rhombus, square can be a rhombus, but a rhombus, let's see, rhombus, okay, let me type it below, a rhombus cannot be a square, okay? Also remember, this can be also it's a parallelogram. Both of them are parallelograms because they have two sets of parallel lines. Okay, now let's look at look at, here's another example. See how they look like a rhombus, but if you flip it around, if you if I can do this right now, look, it is a square. So that's why they classify a square as a rhombus, but not a rhombus as a square. All right, now let's look at the attributes of a rectangle. If you look at the rectangle has also quadrilateral. It has 4 equal sides. So let's start with the attributes. So attributes of the rectangle. And what the first attribute is a quadrilateral. Quadrilateral. Okay, what also? It has, because it has 4 sides, correct? If you look at this, as this top segment is the same as the bottom segment, so these two are parallel. And remember that the symbol that I taught you. So this is parallel to this, so it's one set of parallel lines, which is long. And this, the left segment, is similar to the segment on the right, so it's also a set of parallel lines. Now, understanding this, we know that now a rectangle has 2 sets of parallel lines. So again, we can call it a parallelogram, but we'll make the conclusion in a second. What else? Oh, look at the square. Every angle must be 90 degrees. You can see they're 90 degrees. This is 90. This is 90. If I can do this with my pen, let's see. So this will be 90, 90. My pen is a little frisky. Okay, let's see. I believe I can fly. I think we got that one covered. Here's another rectangle. We can also flip it around. The rectangle is not gonna change what it is. See, look at that. It's now upside down, or sitting on its back. And also, oh, check this out. A square can be a rectangle. Man, the square is pretty multifaceted, which means can be many things. All right, so let's make our conclusions. Conclusions are, let me move this right here. Conclusions. Okay, so we can say that a rectangle can be a parallelogram because it has 2 sets of parallel lines. Let's see what else. We already know it's a quadrilateral. So can a rectangle, let's do this. It's a conclusion. A rectangle cannot be a square, but a square can be a rectangle. The square can be called a rectangle as well. Are there any other conclusions that we're missing here? Okay, interesting. Notice that not all attributes apply, but this is how we set up the system. So we have no control over that, my friends. This is how you find the attributes for a rectangle and a rhombus. Take your notes, pay attention, ask questions. And now just note too that also another conclusion is that, let's see, I think I forgot to do that one. It's that the addition of all the angles, and that's for every quadrilateral, okay? The addition of all of the angles equal 360 degrees. Okay, my friends, just remember this. Take the notes, but more than anything, I want these notes in your head. Your brain should be the storing cabinet, the container of all that information. I wish you the best and keep doing well in mathematics. Signing out, your coach, Mr. Magno.